The final boss for Razor's Edge can be a frustrating experience. To help new players, here is a guide to help you to finally take her down. It may be helpful to think of this fight as a test of your knowledge of the combat mechanics. Since steel on bone is a core mechanic, the boss fight here is the ultimate test of your ability to use this mechanic efficiently. I discussed the charged heavy attack in Volume 3 of my combat guides, and here is a situation where the charged heavy attack becomes an almost required move to understand. When you charge a heavy attack, the enemy AI cannot predict when you will unleash the attack. In many cases, this will prompt them to try and grab you with a steel on bone attack. But how can I use a charged heavy attack while I'm being pummeled with projectiles and attacks, you ask? You can buffer a charged heavy attack during certain animations. For example, during an obliteration technique animation, holding the heavy attack during this time is read by the enemy AI as an input. The steel on bone mechanic is a core concept to understand in Razor's Edge. If you've played previous Ninja Gaiden titles, you can think of steel on bone as being similar to understanding the essence system and how it works to help defeat challenging battles. Other moves to help you take down the first phase of the final boss include skills like the wind path, the 4 rings, and counterattacks. These skills, in combination with your knowledge of moves which are effective at delimbing enemies quickly, dodging and blocking effectively, are all put to the ultimate test during this final boss fight. A few things that you may have noticed in the footage you see here are the camera angle that I'm using and the area of the arena that I'm primarily staying around during the battle. The boss's arm slam attacks can one-shot you if your health is low enough. So staying in the part of the arena that she is unable to reach you can take this dangerous attack out of the equation almost entirely. Changing the camera angle so that you can focus more clearly on the relentless attacks from the surrounding enemies is another thing that I would highly recommend giving a try. Manipulating the camera is another core skill that Ninja Gaiden games have almost always demanded of its players, so why not give it a try? You will need to constantly block and dodge to avoid taking damage from the projectile attacks raining down from the boss. And there is little that can be done to make this aspect of the fight any easier. But finally, and most importantly, do not give up. You will fail, and then you will probably fail again and again and again. That is just a part of the Ninja Gaiden experience that you probably know very well by now. Try to remember that there are almost always a ton of different methods a player may use to beat certain enemy types or bosses. Some methods are the quickest and most efficient if you're trying to speedrun through the game. Some methods are easier than others but might take more time and more luck to pull off. And finally, some methods require practice and patience to master. The method that I am showing you here is a combination of all three. It requires that you understand how to utilize specific moves to manipulate the enemy AI's behavior. It might not work for you on the very first try, or the second, or the third, or many more tries for that matter, but once it clicks, you'll know it. This method isn't designed to make the final boss fight easier for you. And even though it very well may have that effect, my intention for explaining all this is to help players like yourself, perhaps, to maybe look at certain boss fights or challenging enemy encounters as teachable moments and not just some boring, unfun, unrewarding experience worth forgetting. Action games are what you make them. You can only have as much fun as you want to have with it. There are no campers shooting noob tubes. There are no hackers. It's just you versus a puzzle. Okay, rant over. Thanks for watching.